Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Eustace Pharmer, and I am very pleased and proud to present to you an early access preview of the West Coast map for Farming Simulator 17 by Frontier Design BulletBill. Now, I'm not saying the next thing to get any kind of sympathy or pity out of anybody. I just want to express my sheer excitement over this map. I had to have some eye surgery on my left eye, soon to have it on my right eye. But at the time I record this video, I've been out of surgery for about 3 hours. I've been home for about an hour. So I parked my rear end right in front of the computer and began recording. That's how excited I am for you to see this, because I think this map is absolutely stunning. He has topped himself once again. Just when you think it's impossible, these guys do it again. Oxygen David is also involved in Frontier Design. He's the other member, and they are just, they're a deadly team together. They're going to put out some maps that are just going to, well, they've already revolutionized Farming Simulator 17, in my opinion, and I really don't even like calling them modders. I like to call them developers, because they have literally changed the face of this game, along with realismus modding. I would like to say a huge, huge thank you to BulletBill and Oxygen David of Frontier Design for thinking of the little guy. They have given this map out to other much larger YouTubers than I am. Landy Kid, Simulate, Daggerwin, and to think of the little guy and give us an opportunity as well, that just shows what kind of sincere, dedicated gentlemen these guys are. So I sincerely thank you and appreciate it. So now, what I plan to do here for you is, everybody else, you're going to be watching their map tours as well. So I don't want to keep repeating and becoming redundant with everyone else. So I would like to do a flyover tour, and I'll put it to some music for you, and just to give you an overall scope of the map so you can soak in the beauty. And then in the next video, I'm going to go over each individual farm in detail and show you all the wonderful new elements that have been added to this map. So let's get started, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that and got a good eyeful of what's to come here. So, that being said, what you are seeing now is still subject to change. He does have some additional ideas that he'd like to implement before the map is released. Extra signs, a rework of the PDA, different starting equipment, possibly different starting fields. And something he was toying with was to define the footpath across field 10, really label it as a footpath so people can find it easier. I think that's a great idea. If he was to do that, Bullet Bill, if I could also suggest that maybe define the footpath ground texture a little more, maybe remove some of the grass and put some dirt in there where, to show that maybe it's been well walked. So that's my little 2 cents or 2 pence. So now a little bit about the map in the fields. So there's 90 fields in total, 50 are grass, 40 are arable. There are missions, and I was told that you can commonly find the fields with missions by the color. So they're the brown. I have found them on the potato color, but there are a couple that are not a potato field. So you have 77, 87, 35, and 48. Now, I would encourage you to explore that further, and we will together as we, do our Let's Play on this map down the road. But he has done something very intuitive. He's noted the signs differently for fields that have missions. So as you see in this diagram here, the one on the left says this field has a mission, and the one on the right does not. So that's how you can tell right off the bat just by looking. So there's 6 farms on the map. The first one is the little blue house, and that is Blue Ridge Farm. And that's right up over here, and that is also considered your main farm. And then we have Little Woolhope Farm, and that is the little red house that you see right down here by field 43. And then we have Mountain View Farm, and that's the little greenhouse. And then River Rock Farm is in the yellow. And then in the purplish pink color, that's the Stonehill Farm. And then last but not least, in the orange, we have Clifftop Farm. And this one also, they'll accept your grains for sale. So there is a little, it looks like, one of the silo grain doors that you open up in the ground. It looks like you can deposit and store, but that is a sale point, just so you know. So if you're dumping it in there to have some storage, you're going to be surprised. And if we put our little magic red arrows up to the top left corner of the map, just below field 2, that's an area where you can store your sugar beet. And then across from field 4, up in the corner there between 4 and 6, that's where you store your potatoes. All right, so just a brief overview of the sell points here. Your BGA, biogas, and biomass are all in the same compound, and they will accept your grain crops, manure, slurry, and silage. I don't know about selling the bales by throwing them in the hopper like you can do on all the other maps, because this one is actually encased in one of those grain tipping point ramps, with the steel grate on the top. The trigger more than likely extends out far enough that you can just throw them on there and they'll go, but I haven't tested that as of yet. Clifftop Farm, they'll accept your grains, and we talked about that just a few seconds ago. And then Frontier, which is down the bottom of the map, just to the left of field 58, they'll take your grains and root crops. And then Little Woolhope Farm, they'll take your grain crops. The Garden Center will take manure, and then Winstay stores will take your wool pallets. Now, if you're having a hard time finding anything on any of the maps you play, just to the left of the names in the prices list here, you'll see like a little target symbol, a little opaque circle with an arrow. Just click on that, and that will make it blink on the map like a great demand. And then you can also click it on your map and then hit tag, and a big green beam will come up, and you can follow the light as well. So it'll be, big green beam shooting up in the air, and it'll be blinking. If you still can't find it, well, pull over and have a picnic and forget about it. So I hope this has been helpful to you. As I said before, Simulate, Daggerwin, and Landy Kid have done their videos. I haven't watched them yet because when I'm making my video, especially because it's the identical subject, I don't want to be tainted in any way. I want to discover everything on my own and see the map for the first time without any preconceived notions going into it. So I'll have to sit down and watch their videos while this one is rendering. We also have a gentleman involved I've never met before. His name is Flatlander84, and he has done a review too. He's rather new to YouTube. Do go over and check him out, Flatlander84. So I am not going to do a Let's Play on this until it's in its final version, because it sounds like there's going to be several changes that may require me to start a new game. So I don't want to start going in there and plowing and everything else and then have to start a new save when the map is released. But the next video that I'm going to put out is going to be a detailed look at all the farms themselves. I'm not going to go through the sale point list like we just did, or anything that I did in this video. I will not, or I will try not to repeat it in the next one. That way we can get right on to the next subject. And by the time we're done with that, the initial release shouldn't be that far off at all. I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in. And again, I hope I've helped you and wet your whistle and got you excited about this. So until we meet again, my friends, please take great care of yourself, okay? And bye-bye for now.